Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video. So today, I'm going to be covering the most dangerous quests here in Azeroth. And so what that means is just any quest from leveling 1 to 60 that I really thought was difficult, challenging, even in a group as well, because these quests could be a massive range of them. There's so many that you have to do, and these were the ones that really jumped out at me, whether it was a surprise mob spawning, an escort, an elite quest. It was just something that I found very difficult, and so I want to take a little time to share that list with you guys, and hopefully it might save your life. But before we get into the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Everything you guys do helps my channel grow, helps me get discovered, and helps me help as many people as possible, which is the entire point of my channel. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So the first thing I want to sort of talk about is going to be your starter zone elite quest. Whether you're in Elwyn Forest, Dun Moreau, or Teldrassil, you're going to have elite quests that are going to be pretty much your first challenge. The most dangerous one by far is Hogger here in Elwyn. He is notorious for slaying a lot of people because he's in camps of moles and he can spawn randomly at any of them, so it's not really one that you can like prep up, walk up to and do. The ones in Dun Moreau are quite easy. You can fence kite them, or you simply don't even have to fight them. You can wait till they patrol away and get the item. So just be aware of those early start quests and definitely group up for them. Now, the next one I want to talk about is a dangerous escort here. It is called Missing in Action. It is going to be in this cave up north of Lakeshire. And this can be very, very dangerous because when you kill your way in, you have to kill a lot of groups of 2s and 3s. And then by the time you get to the back of the cave and escort them out, those camps have respawned on top of the escort respawns. This quest is very challenging. I would highly recommend that you group with 2 to 3 people, maybe even 4 or 5 if there are people there trying to do this. Definitely under no circumstances try to solo this. It is not worth it. You will die. People call Redridge Mountains Dead Ridge Mountains is because of these orcs up here and over here at the keep and tower. But that is the next quest we're going to talk about. There are also elite quests that have you come to Stonewatch Keep and the tower. What makes the orcs in this area so dangerous is that they can net you, as well as there aren't very good escapes. Like, you're almost enclosed every time, so like you get netted and then you have tons of mobs beating on you and there's no escape. You've probably seen tons of death clips of people coming here and then they try to jump into the river here. Yeah, unless you're a gnome, the water is too shallow, so you will hit the ground and you will die. So it really will, there's just no real good escape on top of the netting, which particularly makes these quests very, very hard. Next, I want to talk about the Duskwood elite quests around Ravenhill. Once you're doing all the quests here from Darkshire, you'll get 3 of them. All 3 of those elites are very, very challenging and not to be trifled with. It's more Ladim and more something that you'll know. It's a 31, a 32, and a 35 elite quest. Just do not fight them. The 35 elite Morladim patrols the graveyard, so definitely put a mark on him anytime you're in the graveyard and just be aware of where he is at, because you do not want to accidentally pull him and die. The next one I want to talk about is going to be Loch Modan. The elite quest here at Morgarash Stronghold. Definitely be careful because they have you go into caves to kill the final guy. It's not too difficult. I've done it with 3 to 4 people. I've done it with 3 mages and a druid before, so that was not too crazy or difficult. It's just depending on your level when you go in here, you can lead to some sticky situations. But if you go slow, you should be pretty good with that one. Another one, when you're doing your Dead Mines, is the Dead Mines Escort quest. When the final part of the chain is to escort a guy from Sentinel Hill to the Dead Mines entrance, essentially, and if no one is in Moonbrook, you will pull a lot of Defias Pillagers, and as you know, notoriously, these Defias Pillagers will hit you with big fireballs that can definitely kill you, so definitely be aware of that, and be careful when you're over here in Westfall. Another one to watch out for is these Murloc quests. The Murlocs are in big packs and groups, so they can be quite challenging to kill. It's a good XP if you can manage to single them out or fight 2 at once. It's just you very fast can get more than that, and it can be very overwhelming. So just be cautious if you're doing the pirate quest there at the lighthouse. Next, I want to talk about Wetlands. The Wetlands elite quests and quests that take you to this excavation site here. These orcs are very deadly because they net you. Like, I keep saying that orcs net you, so if you haven't learned that by now, a lot of the orc NPC mobs will net you, and they will get a bunch of people there, and then there's no escape once you're netted, because it's a 10-second route. So you're just going to have to sit there, and you're going to have to fight them, and you can get 2 to 3 to 4 mobs, and you're surrounded by mountains, so unless you jump off the cliff, and if you're a priest or mage, that might be an out for you. But if you're not that, it can be very, very challenging to get out of the situation. And then there's also elite dwarf quests up here at Dun Modar. Definitely do these in a group. There's no reason to ever not do them in a group. There's a lot of people doing it, and it leads to a quest for the Stockades dungeon. So there is quite an incentive to even come up here and do these quests, but just look for groups doing it. Don't do it alone. There's no reason to do that alone because you will probably die. Next quest is going to be here in Darkshore. There's a quest at the Grove of Ancients around level 18 that has you go to Ashenvale and you escort to Maestra's post. The hardest part about this is that there are packs of 3 mobs that spawn along the way of this, and they can be pretty challenging to solo. I'd recommend doing or trioing this quest even. That's how powerful those mobs are. And the escort guy is quite weak, so he's not very strong, so he can die very easily even if you have the ability to kill it. On my twinked out druid, I was able to do the first one, and now this leads me to the second one. At level 24, you get one called Supplies to Aberdeen, which you will escort another dude here to Aberdeen, but quest ends once you get into Darkshore. But you're going to fight 3 packs, and the final pack of satyrs hit hard, and they're big casters. I was unable to solo that quest, and just be very, very careful if you do these escorts. I would recommend that you do it in a group of 2 to 3, if not more. Then finally, I want to sort of take the time to talk about the 2 scariest dungeons, because these dungeons give you a ton of quests, and so it sort of fits with that. And these are going to be Gnomer and Uldamon. These two dungeons have so many quests, so you're very tempted to go in there, but those are the top 2 most lethal dungeons, and it's not even close. It is more lethal than the level 60 dungeons right now, from the Deathlog add-on. Gnomer just has so many weird things that you have to do perfectly right, and it risks pulling so many mobs. If you are trying to play the safest playthrough, or you are unfamiliar with Gnomer and how to go through the dungeon, do not do it, because you might pull and your journey will be over because you didn't go wall tight enough and you managed to aggro a ton of mobs. Just be very careful if you do that. Uldamon is the same way. It is very tight corridored. There are a lot of mobs that you can pull, and it's really good XP. It's just such a high risk because so many things can go wrong while you're inside of there. Uldamon's also interesting because a lot of the quests are outside of the dungeon. So you could get a group around level 40 and just do all the outside quests. They're elite quests, but the mobs there aren't very high level. So you can get good XP for just simply doing all the quests outside. And then at level 44, 45, 46, go into actual Uldamon and kill the final boss, who is level 47. So very, very scary with that. Next, I wanted to talk about Stanglethorn Vale and Booty Bay quests. They're around level 45. There are pirate quests that will send you to deal with a bunch of pirates, and then ultimately on the pirate ships. Do not solo these under any circumstances. Do not try to solo the pirate ship quests. They're some of the most hardest quests in the game that are non-elite. That's the thing that misleads you. They don't say they're elite quests. The mobs there are actually not elite, but there are a ton of very, very tightly dense mobs. You will almost always pull 2, 3, 4, 5 mobs at a time, especially if you're going for the captain. So just be very, very careful if you are on this pirate ship. Otherwise, you will get deleted. You've probably seen a lot of death clips of people dying here. Just be safe, guys. And then one of the final areas that's sort of scary is going to be Jin Alalor. This place is insanely high level. It's level 49 to 50 elites, and so they will do a lot of damage, and you can pull a lot of them. So go very slowly if you choose to do these elite quests. It can be a lot of XP because you are killing a ton of mobs and going up there. On Horde, it is way more beneficial to go here because they have 5 quests, but the Alliance does get 2, and it leads to summoning the spawn of Hakar and Sunken Temple. So just be very careful with that. Then finally, all of the elite quests in the high-level zones like Western Plaguelands, Eastern Plaguelands, Winter, Spring, Fellwood even, pretty much the 55 to 60 zones that you're going into, all of these quests are meant for 5 people pretty much. So be very careful when you're doing these elite quests. Even another example of how difficult these quests can be, Battle of Darkshore, it is a raid quest. So like people do this with 20 plus people coming to Darkshore. So it's very, very scary and hard to do. A ZG buff is just dropping right here while I'm filming that, so that's pretty cool. But be very careful if you're doing these elite quests. I would highly recommend that you do it as safe as you can and do it in groups of 5. But anyway, guys, that's sort of it for this video. That is all the most dangerous quests, everything that I could think of. I would highly recommend be safe. If there's any that you think I missed, obviously there are thousands of quests, so I definitely missed some. But if there are any you think I missed, would like to add it, definitely drop it in the comments below. I spent a lot of time collecting this data, so I really hope this video helps you out a ton. But anyway, guys, until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. It truly means a lot to me. If you happen to find anyone that you know would also benefit from watching this video, please share it with them. It helps me out a ton and allows me to keep doing what I love every single day, and that is gaming and sort of helping people any way that I can. So finally, thank you so much, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Goodbye.